sorry, whoever's first year or next year, you're going to be suckered into that. But I'd be glad to do that as well. And we have been talking as a board whether we wanted to step up with U.S. Sailing and commit next year's board to a nationals event. It's kind of unfair to do, but it is good for the club. So there is a potential that we'll try and step up and offer to do that next year. Yes, Joe?
There was a fee, too, for the Grapevine Main Street Days. And
Correct.
We didn't fit the theme, because we were at one, last year or whatever, I think we were set out to go, and we didn't fit the theme.
Yeah, it was like Italian food. They wanted
Yeah, last year we didn't fit the theme. Now at the last minute, we did get them to commit to giving us a booth, but they wanted to charge us $5,000 for the booth. And I will tell you, based on our numbers this year, I think we had about $1,300 worth of profit budgeted for this board. Yeah, we just thought that was a bad idea.
Until we bring our own water.
I said we'd bring our own boats. That's what we've done the previous years. We actually put the boats out, the opties with the sails and all kinds of stuff, and they still wouldn't let us come for a cheap price. Wow. Yep. And
Julie, what's the fee going to be for the Sail Away program?
The fee is going to go from $375 to $425 to participate in the Sail Away program.
So why are we showing a $4,000 drop in the revenue then?
For that, we are just, as we did this year and as we've done in prior years, we go ahead and look to 2013 at a conservative number and always hoping that we can exceed that. So we do under budget and then hopefully we can, it's a conservative way to forecast. So we did budget that. That has 45 members instead of 59.
Give me a beer.
Because of the dues increase and other things that we're making a change to.
Yeah,
So,
but with that conservatism, then you're showing about a $4,000 just in that category drop in revenue when you're saying you have people in the
well, from my standpoint, I'm not looking at 2013 at all. We're actually looking at this year right now. We are covering the additional expense that we're planning and holding the margin the same for the actual net income at the end of the year for the program. So while the numbers change, for example, this year on the seminar, we budgeted that we'd have, I think, 65 people there. We ended up with 48. So we ended up over budgeting this year and underperforming. To me, it's better, especially, and you know this, when you present to the membership, you want to present an achievable number and exceed that if you can. So that's our goal. So, and some of those are variable expenses too, so the variable expenses would change if you had a lower membership number.
You're also assuming that as a result of the increase, the participation level will drop.
Correct. As I've heard from people, some in this room, there are a lot of people that aren't happy with that. So there may be potentially a membership.
A lot of people are happy now.
You used the word, when we were talking about Sail Away, you were talking about, you used the word margin. You had to create a proper margin. Right now, for everyone's information, the margin is about $10,000.
We are looking at
Meaning
$10,000
that
this year.
after Sail Away pays for their slip fees, after Sail Away puts about $6,000 a year into the boats, that includes a rotating bottom job to keep the boats in tip-top shape so that they're in good shape for the club, and different projects that the Sail Away members go out and do to the boats. Terry and I just completed one where we put some inside tracks onto one of the Catalinas to make it a better sailing boat, to give the Sail Away people a better experience, and also to give Terry and I a better experience. But the other experience we picked up there was we also got to do the work on the boats ourselves, which is a plus. But getting back to this margin thing, I think what's happened with Sail Away initially was, and I've been with Sail Away all the way, I was kind of scanning people in the room to see how many people I can remember being here 9 years ago, 87. When we first started Sail Away, the battle cry was, Sail Away's going to lose a lot of money and we're going to get stuck holding the bag. Now we've turned the table, because when we started Sail Away, we were penny pinchers, and we're still penny pinchers. We don't go out and buy anything. But my only point is that this is definitely something that's making a profit. But I don't think that the people in the club, your fellow club members that are making a profit, should be taxed additionally for this work that they've been doing on the boats gladly, because it's fun. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I like sailing, it's a lot of fun. I like working on boats, it's a lot of fun. I can enjoy coming down here and just watching it rain, it's a lot of fun, just to be around the boats. But anyway, where I'm leading with this thing is not what it cost me. What I'm leading to on this thing is, if we're going to increase anything, I believe that it should be the dues of the club, and I will happily pay it.
Well, we're gonna pay it.
I agree.
don't see why
Well, we're gonna
the
pay
Sail
it.
Away group has to be
Little
burdened
enough.
with this. Julie made the
Everybody has to.
the point that the
$25.
banquet was one of our most well-attended events. The banquet usually attracts in the vicinity of 100 people. 100 people, I believe, only represents 60 memberships in the club. That happens to be the same number of memberships that we have in Sail Away. So with this $5,000 that we go in the hole every year for the banquet, we're gonna let the Sail Away members pay for it. I like the banquet, I went to the banquet, I just assumed see it come out of our dues. And my question to you would be though, we talked about this dues increase. Everybody was concerned, you were, when our Sail Away dues were going to increase. It was my understanding, after reading the board minutes, that they were going to increase this month in September.
And I didn't remember that when we talked, and to be honest, I
Well-
still haven't gone back and gotten the date on that. So,
I know, but, you know,
as I said,
everything
we do
can't
not
be on
issue it, so
Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
It's actually with
Sometimes
Joe.
it has to be in here. I'm sorry, I'm just an old, okay, everybody got the word. There we go.
So
Well,
I'll go
everybody's
back to
But anyway, the
membership.
question that I was leading to was, when will the dues increase for the membership?
It will go up into
As a
20
member, I'm in
yeah.
a membership too, by the
I'm-
way. That was a big problem
Every
with
Sail
Sail
Away
Away
person is a
initially.
member.
We
yeah,
had
of the
Sail
club.
Away people.
So
Also, a big
2013,
part of it was that you buy a boat someday too, so.
2013 is the date. So on November 1st, all dues notices go out for all GSC members. So our vote will be at the October meeting. You can vote over email and have whatever vote you choose to submit. Based on the bylaws, it's 2/3 of the membership have to agree in order to raise the dues, in order to get the dues to increase. We will mail out at the new rates, whatever is voted in at the October meeting, and you guys will know the decision of it at that meeting. So one way or the other. So, and just to your
I didn't
notes, let me
understand
go
that.
back, yeah, let me go back and explain, it's all in the bylaws, so you can go read the section in the bylaws in the directory that talks about membership dues notices being mailed out and the timing of that. I will say that the club goes through its phases. Historically, we had a division in the club between cruising boats and racing boats. Racing boats at that time, like I said, membership regatta, or the regattas used to make about $10,000 a year. Those people paid for the PCR fleet that were not racing and not participating. We paid for them to go to the banquet. We paid to support other activities of the club. We've had years where the seminars stepped up and new, not even members of our club, helped pay for activities of the racers and the participants in the club to do the things that the club does. So Sail Away right now is where it is because we aren't driving participation into those other two programs. It will gladly be shared across those programs as long as everyone's out there driving participation and helping to create events and support events that we can actually build those things. I think Gold Rush this year, Mayor's Cup this year, two of the biggest attended regattas in the Metroplex. You have to understand that. We had two of the biggest attended regattas in the Metroplex for one of the lowest budgeted club. Even Arlington Yacht Club, and for those of you who don't know, you can walk across Lake Arlington, that's how small a club it is, has $180 a year for their membership dues. We are the lowest, other than, I think it's Lake Lavon, not even in the Metroplex. Some are $750 a year initiation fee to join, and then $300 a month to participate. DCYC is $157 a month to participate. We are one of the absolute lowest, and we have had pride in that over the years, and please don't think I'm trying to take the pride. We struggled as a board to find a number that was reasonable, and we are still seeking to be reasonable because we are not going to go out and do crazy things. We're not trying to build a building, we're not trying to put in docks, we're not trying to do things that are going to make this club astronomical. We want to keep it the way it is. It's a family, it's a volunteer-run club. We just want to make it not a struggle, and that we don't end up in a struggle in a bad economy.
How many events we had this year not racing related? Parties or meetings or whatever?
We're always about 50-50. So if you go through the budget planning process, we're always about 50-50, whether it's a sailing clinic or it's an on-the-water practice event, like on downwind sailing. We had one recently that wasn't necessarily racing focused. That was just about downwind sailing and boat performance. We had a beach party. We had a meet and greet in January. We had a lot of things like that, and we try and make them a crawfish boil. We try and make those things 50-50. Everything is open to every club member.
No, there was a misunderstanding. I don't want to know how many after race party we had, how many parties we had for or events for non-racers.
Well,
How many social?
Like I said, all of those are open to everyone. So we invited everyone to the crawfish boil. It was sold as an individual event. Every year we have a crawfish boil, and it is sold as an individual event. We scheduled it after that so we could also entertain the off-the-lake boats that came and have them participate as well. And it ended up being a bigger moneymaker than we thought.
I don't think $25 more a year is a problem at all. Do it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Well, this isn't your voting place. This is an introduction
Right.
of the motion that's on the floor.
It's a
Or
great
the motion
idea.
that we're trying to propose tonight. So please don't think I'm not accepting your votes or I don't want them and I don't want your comments. I do. I have all the backup, all the financial stuff. I'm glad to share it with anybody. It's all your club. We just wanted to put it here so we could explain to you the tight parameters with which we work and that we're not trying to improve things. We are. You can help define what we do. Like I said, we want to do a bear boating class. We want to do different things. I want to bring Northview here to do a weather course, if we can do a sailing weather course. All those things, but I can't do it all. I'm telling you right now, I'm done. I can't do anything more than I'm doing. But everybody here can do it. You can have a say of what this club does, whether it's for racers or non-racers, whether it's for cruisers or people that just like to come out and watch the rain and hear the halyards. I love that too. Yeah, Kathy? 1 second, Michael. Sorry.
Never even thought about it until we started talking about this, but I figured you probably know on other clubs around, because you've been to a lot, what are their programs as far as the Sail Away program and their membership as far
Yeah,
as?
I went out and looked. I will tell you there are two programs. I think there's one comparable program that's not necessarily a racing program. Fort Worth has a J22 club boat program, and they pay a lot for membership. I mean, don't think I'm coming close to saying we're like Fort Worth Boat Club. But I will tell you at Rush Creek, they do have a fleet of IC24s, which are modified J24s. So they're open-ended, better for crew, better for boat rentals. That's $600 a year to participate in their IC24 charter program out there. So, and a lot of clubs do it around the country. You know, Lee brought up to me that somebody keeps telling him about a program they run on Lake Louisville called Sail Dallas. It's really different. That's a really different program. That is a super high-end. It's more of a performance boat. It's more for people that are willing to pay for a very heavy service type boat. That isn't comparable. It shouldn't be compared to what we do. We made a commitment not to put a racing boat into our charter program because that's not who we were trying to attract to that program. We were trying to attract new sailors, sailors who don't want the expense of buying a boat and having a slip fee and all the maintenance. I think Diane was telling me they're replacing a window. That window is $400. So boat owners pay a lot of money to have the boats and do what they do. We wanted an economical entry program that allowed people to get onto a little bit of a cruising boat and get out and enjoy the lake. That was the original intent of the program.
One other thing about the program at Lake Louisville that's different than the approach that we have, because we actually had somebody that left that program and came to us. Boats don't have fenders, because you're not allowed to go anywhere but right back to where you take it from. You can't take an anchor, you're not allowed to stop anywhere. They don't do any maintenance, they're not allowed to do any maintenance. And, you know, this guy left that program because he wanted to find out what it's like to own a boat and work on a boat.
Right.
And so, you know, that's the trade-off. We pay less, but we put sweat equity into it, and for somebody who maybe comes out of the seminar, they can maybe spend a year here and say, okay, that's the kind of stuff, if I buy a boat, I'm going to be cleaning this thing, and I'm going to be checking that battery, and I'm going to be cleaning these bilges. And they get the idea of what what it is when you're responsible for a boat that